All right, let's talk about something cool. Every single business, whether it's a huge corporation or a tiny corner shop, has a story to tell. Not just about what they sell, but a story about their money. And the way they tell that story, the official log of all their financial ups and downs, is something called the accounting cycle. But let's start with a basic question, a real mystery. You're a business owner. You see money coming in, you see money going out, but at the end of the day, how do you really know if you're winning? Are you actually making a profit, or are you just, moving cash around? That's the puzzle we're going to solve. To help us figure this out, let's meet Lena. She just started her dream business, Lena's Plant Shop. It's awesome. She's selling cool cactuses, paying rent for her cute little store, buying new pots. I mean, money is flying in and out. It's super exciting, but honestly, it's complete financial chaos. She feels like she's making money, but she can't actually prove it. So yeah, Lena's got a classic financial mystery on her hands. To figure out if her shop is a big hit, she's going to need way more than just a gut feeling. She needs a solid plan. And that plan, my friends, is the accounting cycle. The best way to think about it is like a detective's 10-step plan for solving any financial puzzle. It's a time-tested method for turning that messy chaos into a story that's crystal clear. So what's in this detective's plan? Let's do a quick flyby. First, you've got to find the clues. Those are all the financial events happening. Then, you create a case file, writing everything down in the order you find it. Next, you organize all that evidence, check to make sure it all adds up, find some hidden clues that you might have missed at first, and then you present your case with the big official reports. And it doesn't stop there. You do another check to make sure everything is absolutely perfect. You officially close the case file for this period, do one last check of the evidence, and then you get everything ready for the next case to begin. It's a full cycle. Today, though, we're going to roll up our sleeves and really crack the first 3 steps. These are the absolute foundation. Hey, real quick, if you're digging this explainer and finding it helpful, do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button and give this a thumbs up. It really helps us make more of these for you. All right, let's get our detective hats on. Every great mystery starts with finding that first clue. And in the world of business, this first step is everything. It's all about identifying what actually counts as evidence. So in accounting, we call these clues transactions. That's the official term. And a transaction is just any financial event that happens in the business. A sale, a purchase, paying a bill, anything that changes the company's financial picture is a clue. For Lena's Plant Shop, these clues are popping up all over the place. When she sells a cactus for $20 cash, that's a clue. Buys $50 worth of new pots? Yep, another clue. Paying the $500 rent, or even that first $1,000 she put in from her own savings to get started, every single one is a crucial piece of the puzzle. Now, this is super important. Every good detective has a golden rule, right? Well, in finance, the golden rule is the accounting equation. Every single clue, every transaction has to obey this rule. It basically says that what a business owns has to equal what it owes to other people plus what the owner has put in. It always has to stay in balance. No exceptions. It's like financial gravity. Okay, so our detective, Lena, has found a clue. What's next? Well, she can't just stuff it in her pocket and hope she remembers it later. No way. It has to be officially recorded, logged into evidence. And that brings us to step 2. This official log is called the journal. You can think of it as the business's official storybook, or for our case, the detective's case file. Every single transaction gets written down in here, one after the other, in the exact order that it happened. It tells the financial story step by step, day by day. And here's what one of those entries in the case file looks like. Don't let the table scare you. It's pretty simple. It's called a journal entry, and it always has 2 sides to it, a debit and a credit, to keep that golden rule, the equation, in balance. So when Lena bought $50 worth of pots, her pots and supplies went up and her cash went down. It's just a formal way of telling the story of that transaction. Notice how both sides are perfectly equal, 50 and 50, always balanced. Now, having a case file that lists everything in order is great. But to solve a really complex mystery, a detective needs to see the bigger picture. They need to group all the related pieces of evidence together so they can spot patterns. And that brings us to the very cool step 3. So think of it like this. The journal tells the story of the business, one event at a time, from beginning to end. It's the plot. But the ledger? The ledger is what helps you really understand the main characters in that story. Characters like cash, or sales, or rent expense. We call the ledger the detective's evidence board. This is where, instead of just a long list, you take every single clue related to one specific character, like Cash, and you pin them all together in one place. This is how you go from just knowing what happened to deeply understanding each part of your business. And here is what that evidence board looks like for our most popular character, Cash. See? Every time Cash came in, it got listed on one side. Every time Cash went out, it's on the other. Now, just by looking at this one spot, Lena can see the entire story of her cash. She's got a running total all neatly organized. It's so powerful. So just like that, with only these first 3 steps, Lena has basically performed magic. She's taken that messy, chaotic world of money flying all over the place and turned it into organized, useful information that is starting to tell a real, understandable story. So the evidence is collected, it's organized on the board, but the mystery isn't solved just yet. How does our detective take this awesome evidence board and finally use it to answer the million-dollar question? Is Lena's plant shop actually making money? Well, that's what the rest of the steps in the cycle are all about.
Thanks so much for watching. Hope to see you in the next explainer.